Good morning. It is Thursday morning and Clue 4 is here. I'm excited to keep going. I'm excited. I'm excited about all of it. So, as suspected, we are picking up along the cast on edge of the semicircles. It looks like that is going to be a triangle. And then there's an option for a huge border. So I'm just diving right in. The first thing we're doing is picking up all these stitches. I am watching Mr. West's tutorial video along with it, just because picking up the stitches can be a bit tricky and I want to make sure I'm doing it correctly. So I am going to follow along with him for the whole pickup, and then we'll see where we go from there. I'm really excited, and I'll keep updating you as I go along. Hi. So I have done my pickup and the return wrong side row, and I had the right number of stitches. I'm so happy about it. So now I'm going to keep going. There's like a garter row, and then you start these tiny bobbles and slip stitches. So I am going to peek ahead a little bit in the video, just so that I can plan my colors, like whether I want to use just the contrast color, this is my standing in for my mohair dare, even though it's not mohair, it's lace weight, and or hold them together, or some combination of those. I want to see what it looks like in order to plan that as best as I can, now that we're getting near the end. And I'll come back later and show you what I've decided. Okay, talk to you later, bye. Hey team. Okay, so the good news is Clue 4 looks gorgeous. It's incredible looking. I love it. I'm so excited to do it. I made my color choices. I decided to use that yellow lace weight as my contrast color for the first slip stitch tiny bobble section. The problem? As I'm going back doing the wrong side row trying to make the bobbles, I cannot get my needles in. I cannot get my needles into the yarn over. I will very easily pick up the two knits, but I cannot for the life of me pick up the yarn over. It's going very, 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 very slowly. I tried to put a bigger needle tip on my left needle, thinking that that would stretch out the stitches, but it didn't. Like, it just makes them tighter because they're stretching to fit on that needle, and then there's still no room. I don't want to switch the right needle smaller because I know that will affect things. So I really don't know what I'm going to do. And in the meantime, I just lost all of these stitches here, just fell off. My needle just slipped right out. And this is the problem with the cord and this many stitches. So I'm going to massively readjust things and figure things out. Like, I'm going to put a stopper here. I'm going to put this needle on another cord and then slip these back on. And then I still have to figure out what I'm going to do here. I'm going to try to slip them onto either this is a 2.75 DPN. I do have a 3mm needle with cords, so I'll try to slip these on so that there'll be more room to get this in. But yeah, it's just, they're just so tight that I can't get my needle in them. So it's a problem. Okay, so crisis somewhat averted. Let me show you how I'm dealing with this for now. I don't know what I'm going to do yet next time this comes around. So I have, sticking out this end, I have my original cord with a stopper on it. These are my live stitches. I'm doing a wrong side row. I have attached a new cord, with a stopper on it, and that's what I'm using for my right side needle, 3.5. Meanwhile, I am slipping small sections onto this needle, which is an old We Are Knitters needle that I'm pretty sure, will you focus? No. Which I'm pretty sure is 3mm. So I'm slipping a segment onto here, and then because this is so much thinner, I'm having a better time making the bobbles and getting things on. So it is an inelegant and finicky solution, but it is working for now, and that's all that I can ask. Oh my God. Okay, so my original needle is now empty and cored, and all the stitches are slipped onto this 3mm needle, and I'm just gonna finish the row. Hi, okay, so I did that. I mean, it wasn't too terrible, and I got my first set of tiny baubles. So what I'm planning, so basically there's 3 tiny bauble sections in the triangle. So I wanted to do like just yellow for the first set, then normal contrast color for the slip stitch triangles, yellow and orange held together like this for the second set, then just contrast color for the slip stitch triangles, and then just contrast color for the final set of tiny bubbles. So it'll be like a little like reverse gradient. Whoa, that's my plan. Wow, 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 wow. Oh. See, I just lost this many stitches. They're flying off the needle for some reason. I need to go deal with this. My goodness, such saucy stitches. So I got them back on. So anyway, the way this went is making me reconsider that, but it is still what I want. So I'm more so gonna just find a way to do it. I think what I'll do is next time when I'm making the baubles, I will go up to a 4mm needle, and hopefully that will make, because you don't knit the main color stitches anyway, you're slipping them. So it'll just be the baubles, and I think that'll help if I go up a couple, like this is 2 needle sizes up, when I make them, and I'll see if that makes it easier. If not, I will just use the same method again to do the rows, and like it'll just be time consuming, but how it has to be, you know. But anyway, I have like 4 rows of plain stockinette now to before I have to deal with this problem. So anyway, this is an exciting first day. I love how this part looks. I haven't seen the wavy border part yet, but just this triangle part, I love how it looks. So I'm excited to do it, and I'm hoping to like pick up the pace a bit. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so I'm doing my second set of tiny baubles, and I went up 2 needle sizes to a 4mm as I did them, going across the KYOKs. And now I'm going back with the 3.5 to actually make the baubles. Yeah, on the wrong side, like a row 6 row if you're doing it. And I can already tell they're looser, so I'm hoping it will go a lot better this time. I'll report back in a bit. Update number 1, I just decided it would make more sense to have 3.5 needle as my left needle as well, so that going back, these stitches will be extra roomy on it. So yeah, I think this time it should be no problem. So that worked out great. It didn't take me very long. It was a lot easier that time. So I'll definitely do that on the 3rd set as well. And then in the future repeats, I hopefully won't have to, because I'll be using the whole contrast color. Like, I think it is really because I'm just using the lace weight. But it'll be a good option. Or maybe I can just go up 1 size for that time. So anyway, it really helped me. Maybe it'll help you. Hi. It's 1 in the morning, or 10 to 1. And I've been knitting this whole time because I'm a super healthy and well-balanced person. But I finished the first repeat, and look how gorgeous it is. So yeah, after that struggle with the baubles, it worked out. I'll film this again in the morning when the light's better, but you can kind of see, I was gonna say you could see that the baubles get bigger, these 2 rows. These 2 times I used the bigger needle, and this was the original row. Anyway, it worked out. And then I did the slip stitches, and I started to have a heart attack thinking I'd done them wrong, because they're called slip stitch triangles. In what world are these triangles? They're squares. So I just went to the video in a panic thinking I had somehow messed something up, but it looks right. It looks the same. So they're just misnamed. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say now. I'm going to get some sleep, and I'll say more in the morning. Okay, bye. Okay, so my shawl, or like my first 3 clues, left me with this shape, which I'm calling, okay, I'm going to look up if it's a rhombus, a parallelogram, or a trapezoid. Okay, it's a trapezoid. It's a trapezoid because it has only one pair of parallel lines. So mine is very flat, and my edge where we cast on the semicircles is very straight. So for me, this clue is turning into, well, it's not that severe. Oh my God, I can't draw. But like mine is basically coming into a point because we're SSKing at the beginning of every row and it is coming down into a point like this. Essentially a triangle. But other people are not thinking that it's a triangle. Theirs are starting out very curved like this, and they feel that this clue is just going to fill in this part and sort of make the whole thing a big semicircle. So I'm just a little confused as to like how the shapes can be so different. And then some people, I feel like even theirs goes even more like this. Oh my God. Because they're, oh my God. Anyway, like some people have it where each semicircle kind of dips in and they're getting this very like scalloped thing. Some people are getting more the curve, and I have this like very straight edge. So it's just a little confusing, but I'm not worrying about it too much. And I'm just going to continue forward with the rest of the first section of Clue 4. So here's where I'm starting. I completed the first repeat of Clue 4, section 1 of Clue 4. Again, like slip stitch triangles. Why are they called triangles? It's just driving me crazy. Like I said, I was really, really scared that I'd done something wrong, but I went and looked at the video, and this is what the one in the video looks like, as far as I can tell. So I'm doing it right. My mind is boggled at why these were chosen to be referred to as slip stitch triangles. They're not triangles, right? Like, am I crazy? Am I actually crazy? Good morning. It is Saturday morning. And I finished the first section of Clue 4. So this is what it looks like. I love it. I'm thrilled. So things I was wrong about. I was completely wrong about it being a triangle. And honestly, it wasn't until I put you do a little graft of the final 6 stitches to connect the I-cord. It wasn't until then that I realized that this was, in fact, a semicircle. You get a nice straight edge along along it, and it looks like a big semicircle, which I love. People in my Discord group got there a lot quicker than I did, and I was sort of insisting that it was going to be a triangle, but I love it. Some things with slip stitches and the I-cord generally, as I've mentioned, I tend to get really, really tight. So I did a technique along the I-cord here where you do an extra yarn over between the stitches to give it more room. So you can see like there is a perceivable difference between my I-cord along this edge and then my I-cord in that final section. But I'm happy with it. I like a thick, juicy, plump I-cord, and also I know that it will stretch and that it will block, because this is going to grow a lot in blocking, even though it's already huge. And I have done previous ones. Let me get them, actually. This is another Stephen West pattern, though it wasn't an MKAL. I forget its name off the top of my head, but I will find it. Something triangle. Trellis triangle. Anyway, I'll put it up. And this is sort of similar colors to what I'm working with in this year's MKAL. Wow, this gradient is really, really showing up on here. So it's great, but it was an early on pattern for me, and my I cord is very tight. As you can see, there's very little stretch to it there. And because it's a colorwork with floats, it just feels really thick, which is great. But I have trouble wearing it sometimes because I can't get it all the way around or it won't stay. I just know that this could be a lot sort of bigger and thinner if my I cord weren't so tight. This was like, oh, sorry, I out of frame. This was one that I kind of learned that on, and it just can't. I might try to block this again, actually, and just really, really stretch it. But anyway, this was my first experience of realizing that my I cord was too tight. Last year, these sections were also slip stitch triangles. And I made some modifications with carrying floats, so that made them extra thick. But again, my I cord, wow, you can see, is like really tight on it. And it ended up affecting the overall shape of the shawl a little bit compared to other people's, because again, these triangles just couldn't stretch as much as they maybe should have or would have. Because, I mean, it's not terribly tight, but it's a little tighter than I would prefer. Let's put it that way. So anyway, based on that experience is why I could just, as soon as I started the slip stitches, things were getting really, really tight. So anyway, that's what I did with the I cord. And then I was also wrong about the triangles. Remember I was saying, like, they're squares. Why are they called triangles? They are textural triangles. So you can see there's like a garter triangle and then a slip stitch triangle. And once you see it, it's very there. But then if your eyes move a little bit, they look like squares again. I feel like the second time I did it was more successful, or they're more visibly triangles there. And again, I'm kind of hoping in the blocking that it will become even more pronounced. I mean, they look great as squares, but, you know, if you can see it, once you see the triangles, at least I understand the name. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, I did this in 2 days, which is sort of a bit intense. I was like trying to convince myself not to work on it this morning, but I think I've done some other chores and I think I'm going to. So what we're now doing is adding a huge wavy border along this long edge where the triangles are. It's over 600 stitches to pick up, and then rows and rows and rows of it. But I think it's going to look great, so I think it's absolutely worth doing, especially since I have some time. And I'm thinking I might flip the main color and contrast color. The way it's written, I would be doing like the orange as like the flatter part with the eyelets, and it's kind of similar to the semicircles. It would have the orange like this, but with eyelets, and then the popping out main color. But I think I want to switch it to be like this semicircle, where the black is the flatter sort of backgroundy one, and the orange is the sticky outy one. That's a very technical term. I have tons of this left over. I barely started the second skein of my contrast color, and I have this much of the main color. We are now going to do the weigh-in, and we will compare. So Mr. West had 38 grams remaining of his main color. I have 62. And Mr. West had 53 grams of his contrast color, and I have 121. I think it's because I used so much of the yellow, like I subbed in so much of that, like, you know, in these sections and here, that's why I have so much left over. But it means I can do a lot of wavy border if I want to. So anyway, I'll weigh it before and after each stripe to see how much each stripe is using, and then I will make my decisions from there. But I think today I want to at least pick up the stitches and maybe get started with like the setup rows, like rows 2, 3, and 4. And then I'll be ready to go with the repeat tomorrow, and I have a few days. So I'm hoping I will still finish this on time to have it bound off and blocked for a final video that should come out on Wednesday. So that's my goal. We'll see. They're very long rows, but it's just knitting and purling for long rows. It should be okay. So here I go. I'm really, really pleased with it. I'm thrilled. This was a wonderful MKAL. As hard as Clue 3 was for me personally, as I said, it looks great. I always thought it looked great. I just didn't enjoy doing Clue 3. But this part was addictive and incredible. And yeah, it just looks really, really, really cool. So I'm so happy for Steven, and I'm happy for everybody who's doing it this year. I know I could stop here, but I'm going to keep going. Okay, see you soon. Good morning. It is Monday morning, 8:30, and I haven't recorded in a couple days. Yeah, but here I am. So I have been going on with the wavy border, and I did invert the colors like I was saying I would. So I used the main color, like I just flipped them for this section. And I'm on the second repeat of this stripe. I have made terrible mistakes. So we need to talk about that for a second. So basically there's a row, the first row of the contrast color, it's like the same as when you pick up. So my pickup went really well. I had the right number of stitches when I got to the end. So the first one with the yarn overs that make the eyelets, I did perfectly, and then everything else flowed. When I got to this second repeat, when I got to the end, my stitches were way off. I had like about 8 or 10 left at the end that I wasn't supposed to have. So I knew I had made a mistake, but I didn't know if I was over or under. I tried to like scan back and see where I'd made a mistake, but like there's 600 stitches and it's like really hard to see the little yarn overs and stuff, and I just couldn't figure it out, and I just wasn't willing to go back. Like I could have, maybe should have taken out the entire row, and sometimes I still think about it, but I seem to have decided to just keep going. So then when I did the next row, or when I purled back that row and counted my stitches, I realized that I was actually under. I think I was 8 stitches under. So I knew that what that meant was I had done too many knit togethers at some point. And so when I was doing the next right side row, I was able to sort of figure out where that was. But then it was like, it would have been so much to go back and fix it. So I'm leaving it, is the point. The thing is, it's going to be really visible, and it's going to be obvious because it's going to affect the fanning and the waviness. It's hard to see the waviness right now, but you can see it in the finished pieces, and you can sort of see it as you go across. So here's the thing. It's like, you don't always understand, like following the instructions is one thing, but understanding what's happening is another, if that makes sense. So I wish, like what I now understand that I didn't before, is that between the markers is always 600 stitches. And the growing just happens on the other side of the markers. So right now, I'm doing that row back. So I should be at 618 stitches. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So I like where it grows is on either side of the marker, and inside the marker is always the same 600 stitches. I wish I'd known that. Although I had that wrong. I had like 7 on one side and 8 on the other at one point too, but now I've fixed it. And the other thing is that when done properly, So the front half of it is the right half, and then the mistakes will be on the other side. So when done properly, the yarn overs, see, which you can hardly see on the pickup row, but you can see them better there. See where my thumbs are? The yarn overs are supposed to be right over the middle of your main color triangles or wedges. And that's how it fans out. And then it's more, bunched. Like the knit two togethers are here over the contrast color triangle, and that's what brings it in, and that's what creates the waviness. Just knowing something like that would help me with keeping track, and maybe realizing when you're making a mistake. So that's what I'm saying. Like by over here, see here, my my yarn overs are in the wrong place. They're over this part. So it is gonna mess up the waviness, and it's gonna be quite visible, but I'm not going back to fix it. At this time, like, I want to be done, and I want to keep going, and I'm just going to keep it as a testament to the mistakes I made and that I'm not perfect. My goal is not to have a perfect shawl. My goal with this was to, keep up with the clues and keep up with the videos and keep up with the timing. And I'm hoping it will kind of even out. So now that I'm at the right stitch count, the next time I do it, I should be able to do it correctly. And the very bottom one, as I said, the first one is correct. So hopefully between that, like, whatever wrongness there is in the middle will sort of sort itself out. And the thing is, like, you only ever see the whole thing when you're, like, photographing it and showing it off. Once it's wrapped around and on you, it's not going to be visible. So that's what I'm doing. I've also decided, we're going to see how this goes. I'm experimenting, and, worst case, I could still pull out this whole wavy border and just end here. Or I could decide to redo it at a future time. But for now, I'm going to keep going. But so color-wise, so I've done 2 blacks, 2 black stripes, and 2 orange stripes. As written, I would just do one more black, one more orange, and then bind off. I think I'm going to aim to go bigger than that. So what I'm going to do next, after I finish this orange, is I'm going to do repeat with just the yellow lace weight. I think I'm going to use the same needles, so it's going to be a different gauge. And so it'll be I think it will be like a wider, looser, wavy piece once it blocks out. And that's partly what I'm hoping will help correct. It will have the elasticity to, like, wave differently, So I'm going to do a yellow eyelet section. Then I'm going to switch back to the black for the sticky out part. Do an orange eyelet row, another black row, an orange eyelet row, a black row, and then bind off. That's my plan. So it's going to be big, and it's going to be huge. And I don't know how it's going to look, but that's what I've decided to do. So here we go. I will come back and let you know how it's going later. Hi. So I've just done what I'm calling, like, the lace row, like the row with the eyelets. And I had markers in every 100 stitches to make sure there were 600. And when I got to 300, it was almost the end of a pattern repeat, and I had 1 stitch extra. And I thought, because I kind of wanted it to be perfect, and I've kind of figured if it was perfect at 300, then it would be perfect at 600. So I just kept going, however, and then when I got to the end, I had 1 stitch extra again. So at least it was only 1 stitch. That's thing A. Thing B is, like, I know what happened. There was a part while I was going across, and I thought I dropped a stitch. I think I did, and I fixed it with a little crochet hook and stuff. So, but I'm guessing maybe I didn't really drop a stitch. So it's like I added one in, and that's why I was one off. I think that's what it was. Um, Things definitely aren't going to line up. I have no idea how it's going to look like that. There's going to be fanny eyelet curves on top of like compressed knit two together parts, and like it's going to be a bit wonky. But I feel like I'm ready to accept some wonk in my life. I'm a bit wonky. My life is a bit wonky. Like I say, I just don't need it to be absolutely perfect. So anyway, now time for some long rows. And yeah, I'm just going to continue on, and we'll see how it ends up. Okay, here I go. Hi. It is Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. Oh my god. It might be complicated to show you right now, but I've done, black, orange. I did the yellow yesterday. That was the one where I was one stitch off, and then I did another row of the black. So I am now doing the orange as the fanned out part, like back to the contrast color position. And I'm about to do the row with the knit two togethers and the yarn overs. And I'm hoping for perfection this time. So my plan is to do this basically twice, like orange, black, and then I think I'll bind off with the yellow. I'm hoping to finish today so that I can block it tomorrow, but that might not happen because that's a lot. But we'll see. I should finish it tomorrow no matter what. And then even if I'm like blocking it on Thursday or blocking it for Thursday or something, yeah, that should be okay. So anyway, wish me luck, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, bye. Hi, it is a little later on Tuesday. It's about 4:30, and I'm just getting back from a little visit to my mom. But I really just want to finish this. I have some exciting news, which is that I had a perfect row. That row I was telling you about with the yarn overs and the knit twos togethers, when I did it, this orange one that I'm working on now, it worked perfectly. It finished perfectly where it was supposed to. So I personally am very proud and happy that I at least got it right once, where I wasn't even one stitch off and the whole row was right. You can see, like you're starting to be able to see the waviness even in this unblocked state. And you can see how nice it looks when they all line up. The mistake I made is almost perfectly halfway through. It's right at the center of the orange semicircle. Where am I even looking for that? Or anyway, whatever. I'll show it later. But you can see, like, at this end, they're not lined up. And it's going to be a bit wonky. But I knew that. So the main thing, though, yeah, see, it's just not as good. But it's okay. I really am okay with it. So I have a bit of a dilemma, though. I had wanted to do this, like, so I did black, orange, yellow, and now I'm doing black, orange, and I wanted to do black, orange, and bind off. But I don't have enough. I have been using my scale, which was a beautiful gift from a viewer, and so I have been weighing my stripes. And my stripes have been pretty consistently 13 grams per stripe. And I only have 22 grams of this left. So that means I can only do one more complete black stripe. Right? And 22 minus 13 is 9. So yeah, and then I'm just not going to have enough left for even like the bind off or another stripe. So now I am confused as to what I should do. I just feel like if I just end it after this. I mean, I guess I could do that because there'd be 2 sticky out oranges and then 2 sticky out blacks. So maybe I will just finish this orange and then do a black and then bind off. That's tempting because I want to be done. Or I could go like black, orange, and then bind off with the orange and yellow held together, which looks kind of like this, and I think would be different enough and contrasty enough to still do it. It's going to be like a tricky little debate, and I can't really decide which way I'm going to go. I kind of like it being huge, but it's already huge. You know what I mean? Like, do I really need one more stripe? But I don't want it to look... I don't know. So anyway, that is the decision that awaits me tonight. I'd like to finish tonight either way. Certainly, like if I just do the black and then end it, I'll be done really soon. I just can't tell. Anyway, I'm going to go think about it and make a decision, and I'll let you know. Okay, bye. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning, October 30th. I've already been working on it for 2.5 hours. Doing my bind off. The bind off is very long. So, yeah, I ended up deciding to just stop after that. So, like, I kind of like it because I have the 2 orange and the 2 black. And the 2 black and the 2 orange, like, because I'm casting off in the cast off color and the yellow in the middle, it's like, it's symmetrical enough for me that I'm good with it. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's just with the yarn amounts I had, it was pretty much the only choice. So I didn't get very far. I got about this far in the bind off last night. It takes a really long time, but it's enjoyable enough. So yeah, I just got up early this morning. I've already watched a 3-episode documentary about alien abduction on Netflix while I did all this. I have to stop a little bit now to do some other work, but I only have this much left. So I will definitely finish today. I will definitely finish fairly early in the day. Then I'm going to block it. This is the first one in a while. Like, I'm not sure where I can put it in my space. It's so big. It's so big. I kind of wasn't paying attention to how huge it is. I don't know if it's going to grow in blocking too. And I don't know if I have a big enough floor space. Like, I might have to move some furniture. But also I've been having... repair people into the apartment because all the faucets and taps in my in my bathroom, like the sink and the bathtub, have been dripping and broken in various states of disrepair since I put in the work request on July 1st. So it's been a long journey. And then they've come in and tried to fix it, but there's all these problems. So anyway, the bathtub is fixed and shower is fixed, but the sink, even though they replaced the taps, is still dripping. It's basically running, and I just live with the constant sound of that water. So anyway, point being, people are coming in to address that later today, so I don't feel like I can lay this out on the floor. But I might have to put it just on my bed because I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know if I have anything big enough. But anyway, I love her. She's big and gorgeous, and yeah, I'll come on when I finish this, just to say that I'm done. And then I'll show you a picture of it laid out for blocking. And then I think that will be it. And if you want to see photos of it or photos of me wearing it, I will probably post some on Instagram tomorrow. Or, yeah, Halloween, October 31st. My Instagram is @FairyGodfatherKnits, so you can look for some photos there. I don't know if we're still supposed to be posting, like, spoiler things. I'm seeing some people are and some people aren't. I mean, the MKAL is over. The clues are all out. The video's out. People are posting about it. So, like, I kind of don't know that we need the spoiler warnings anymore, but I also don't want to ruin it for anybody because I know how nice it is to like have the experience. Like, and I've seen spoilers before and been upset, so I don't want to like do that to anybody else. So anyway, I have to figure something out there. But yeah, Go Go Dynamo. All in all, a success. Probably my favorite or definitely my favorite MKAL of the third. Oh my god. Definitely my favorite MKAL of the 3 that I've done. Both in terms of the process, both in terms of these videos and your amazing viewership, and also in terms of the shawl. I liked Twist and Turns a lot more than anybody else I've seen did, but this one is pretty spectacular. And I can't wait to see this blocked out. So, yeah. Hi, so I just finished my cast off. You can see the beautifully wavy side where the pattern was correct, and the wonkier wavy side where the pattern was incorrect and sticks out even more on the end. So there may, as I say, I may in the future, because I know all the yarn is here in the right length, I may take out, like just rip out to this cast off and redo this all at some point, but that would be in deep winter. I'm not going to worry about it for now. I'm going to block this. So it's already huge. And as I say, I don't know where I'm going to put it. I don't know if there's enough room here, even if I move my table. And those guys need to come in later. So I think I'm going to do it on my bed, but we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to get it in the bath for now. I'm very, 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 very pleased. There's always so many bubbles, which is just the stitches releasing their tension. So I like just to get it nice and soaked, and I usually leave it about 10 minutes. And I'm going to use that time to set up the blocking pads on my bed. I think I'm going to put the blocking pads down on the bed and then put this on top. Yee! I can't wait to see it. So these are all the blocks I have. It's just a double bed, so it's not like huge or anything, but I still don't think the shawl's going to fit, or it's not. It's like some part of it is going to be draped off. But anyway, we'll see shortly. So yeah, I had to like have the ends hanging off the edge. I can always reblock it any other time. I'm not pinning it. I just kind of like pulled these out a bit with my finger, and like they're looking nice. And it's not as bad as I mean it is, but because of this stripe, as I thought, like it kind of evens itself out by the edge. So like I can still get a pretty even edge. This is around where it starts being messed up. So it is really like half the shawl. It's like half and half. But anyway, this might be a bit funny, but I just can't put it on the floor right now. And I figured a little bit was better than nothing. So this gives you a sense of it. It's huge. The work did get completed shortly after that, so I was able to lay it out on the floor. I couldn't get the whole thing in the frame, but I did pin it just to get those nice pointy edges, which do kind of look consistent all the way around, even though the insides are different, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so I'm going to end this vlog there. As I say, I will post some finished object photos over on Instagram at Fairy Godfather Knits. Thank you so much for following this journey. And if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing to my channel for my regular Fairy Godfather Knit casts, my Let's Knit Together videos, and so on. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you all so much, and happy knitting. Bye.